Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Swamp Donkey Gardens here. We're up here in the grow room, I guess I could say. I did some work up here last night. I put this put our rough cut lumber on our ceiling there. We gotta cap it off there yet and do some sanding and some other things there, but that's another time and another day. I hope everybody's having a great day today. It's Saturday, March 27th. Outside it's probably about 50 degrees out, I would say, around it. It's pretty nice. I mean, it's a great day today. The sun keeps trying to peek out a little bit. I'd like to see it peek out. Today we'll be talking about our seeds that we planted the other day. About watering and some soil and our lights and timers and where we got the lights. Just I mean, the basic is keeping our seeds going. We'll look at all the all the water, how we keep it, keep them. How we can tell how the soil, if it needs water, if it doesn't need water. So I see some of them don't need water. A little bit of them over here, I had to makeshift a tray. I didn't have a tray, so I just got a bottom of a tote and put it on there just so because I don't think it doesn't leak a whole lot of water, but I did water a little bit of it. It's our basil. I think it's all basil, pretty sure. So yeah, but I do keep my lights. Let's go with this first. We'll just go right into these and take a look. We got, you can see this one here. I did water it. This whole tray was pretty dry, and I think it's going to need a little bit more water. Let's see, we got the difference here. I don't know if you can really tell. This one's, you can tell a little bit darker. This one being the darker. This one being, it's not super dry, but it could be a little wetter. But you don't want to overwater because you don't want to drown them. Yeah, you know what I mean. You don't want to overwater. So it's not really. I don't stay on a routine water. I don't like get up every morning and being with the lights and dealing with them. I go by the look of it. I look at the tops. Of our flats. This one's still real moist. It doesn't have that dried out, but just being dried out like that doesn't mean that it doesn't have a whole lot of water. It's getting there. You know what I mean? Like compared to these ones don't. I had to add water to these ones, but let's go with this tray over here of our. This will be our Brandywine heirloom tomatoes, and it's still fairly heavy. So and I pick it up, look in there, and I can see there's a little bit in the middle, like a little bit in this middle section here, right up in here area. There's still a little bit of water down there, but I mean, as you can see with these, there's no dry. The only dry dirt is in these, and in a little bit of these ditches. So that's saying that these are good. The moisture level's good. Yeah, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't add water to. I don't think I added water to any of them except this. But like I said, I don't go on a routine watering schedule. I just go by the tops of my. I mean, you can tell, you can see it. I mean, you can see the difference when it's drying out and when it's not drying out. And like I said, again, I don't go on a watering schedule. I just go on just what I see. But now with our lights, and like I said before, they're just shop lights. I mean, you can go out and buy. I mean, if you can afford it, you can go out and buy grow lights and go the whole deal. They make whole small indoor greenhouses You know, I think they're probably around, I would say about $500. Let's say, I mean, for a decent one. But you know, I just don't. I don't go that route. So when I hold on a second, I get the lid. Bring this kind of over here for example. So when it's sitting there, my lights are. I drop all my lights down here, and they're probably about 3 inches off the deck of the clear plastic there of your dome. I guess talking into a little bit when they start growing, seeds. It's the consistency or the makeup of planting is seeds, water, soil, and light. We got the seed, water, and soil, you know, but light. That's what makes them go. That's what makes them go. And if you don't have enough light, your plants will suffer because they will start shooting. They'll come up, but then they'll start struggling for light, and then they'll put all their energy into their stalk. So then you get laggy plants because you get not laggy, but you get stringy plants. You get a long, thin stalk with your grow leaves and your true leaves, but it's starving for light, and it's looking. So it's putting its leaves, you know, say leaves here, and it's growing it, and it's trying to find that light. You know, it's going because that's what makes it go. So lighting is crucial, especially when they start busting out the soil. You know what I mean? You got to warmth. You know, but lighting is crucial. Warmth. They make warming mats like heating pad. It just has, and just a little trick that I use, and back to reiterate, I guess it would be tomatoes and peppers. Peppers really like kind of a warmer environment. So do tomatoes. Just for them to germinate, they like a warmer soil, not too hot. You don't want to bake them. You don't want to have baked seeds. So your temperature is very crucial on them ones, especially for tomatoes and peppers. Now I'll take Carrie, my wife. I'll take her heating pad that she sits on once in a while, and I'll put it on real low, and I'll put it under my tomatoes and my peppers, on, you know, the seedlings, like, you know, I guess it would be here, like this one here. I put it right underneath the tray, maybe a towel in between it. So you just want to heat it up just a little bit, or I mean, you could raise the temperature in your room. I mean, there's quite a few ways, but I only put it under there for maybe about 10-15 minutes on low, because the heat mats you buy, they're a real low steady temperature, and it just keeps them at a, you know. But like I said, I don't have a heat mat, so I improvise. I do a lot of repurposing, I guess you would say. I repurpose a lot of wood, a lot of all my growing flats, all my a lot of my pots that I use. I mean, my outdoor pots, I got 55-gallon drums, and I've cut them in half. I make sure that the drums weren't like oil or anything. I think there was silicone beads in these ones, but I cut them in half, and you got 25-gallon pot, and very cheap, easy. I drill holes in the sides, put ropes in there, easy to move. You know, you can plant in anything. You know, you can plant in any container. It doesn't matter. You know, as long as you keep them, you know, as long as you got your seed, you keep your water consistent in your soil, and that ties in with your soil. Keep that consistent. And like I said before, with seeds, you don't have to have a whole lot of nutritional value in your soil. They don't need it. They don't need nutritional. I mean, they do eventually, but they get all their nutritional value from from their, from the seed pod and from the little that's in the soil. So yeah, but I mean, there's tons of mistakes that you can make. It's everybody makes mistakes. It's no biggie. Pick yourself back up, redo. I mean, if you plant some seeds and they don't come up, try again. Try again. That's all you got to do. Pretty easy. With my timers of my lights, I like to go 14 to 16 hours on, and then 10 to 8 off. You know what I mean? You can, whichever. I mean, if you leave it on for, 16 hours, it's gonna be off 8. So, but I do pay attention to the window with the lighting. I mean, when it's light out, I try to keep it going with the sun. So when they do come up, they're acclimated a little bit. So I mean, when your plants start coming up, you really want to. You don't want once they start breaking through. I get rid of my domes. I take the domes off, and I just let them grow from there. I'll switch them out from up here to, I have a table downstairs with a light on it, but I'll do it. I know growing in that window, I know there's only probably maybe 4 hours of direct sunlight. I mean, anybody can grow in a window. I mean, that's a great place to, if you don't have lights, start them in the window. You have to pay attention to that. You don't want your small seedlings in direct sunlight, because it'll burn them. That's an eventuation, or that's eventually you'll acclimate them into the sun. That's something we'll get into once they start coming up, and once we get into that part. Yeah, peat moss. Like I said, I use a lot of in my starting mix. It's mostly peat moss. Like I said, I use other repurposed soils. I don't like to go out and buy a whole lot of soil. I repurpose mine. I live on my property has 75 years of part of it as it was a cow pasture, and that's, cow poop, any kind of like cow poop, horse poop, rabbit poop, chicken poop. They're good fertilizers, but you got to watch mixing them. In with your soil. You don't want to overdo it, depending on the size of your garden, and but they're all three of them are accessible, and they're fairly cheap. I mean, if you have access to them, you can go to your local farm and ask the farmer and say, ask them, hey, can I get a bucket of, now you don't want fresh, you want it to be aged, you want it to be a little dried, and you don't want fresh is too much I don't know if it's acid or there's too much something in it, maybe nitrogen, too much, but that, if you mix that with your compost, that's fine, because you get all your microbes in there that eat that all down, and they thrive on that. They don't need oxygen. I guess the next thing we'll get on to, I guess we can. I was gonna go around and show you all the plants. But it really hasn't changed. They haven't changed. It's only been 2 days. Like I said, I did go around and water a little bit. So what next? As long as we're on all that, I think I covered lights, timers. Yep, timers. I did get my, like I said, my lights are from Walmart. They're just shop lights. It's just light. It's not. You can go either way. Well, whether you afford, if you can go out and afford, grow light, expensive grow lights, and that's great. That's great. But I don't go that route. I have success this way, so that's the way I do her. But the next we got in from our county commissioner, no, not county commissioner, county office. with a soil test. I wanted to, and it's time. It's time now. Being if you're in from Pennsylvania, I mean it's your growing season is not your last frost date is in the middle of May. So, but I mean you can test your soil at any time. Doesn't have to be. You know, I usually wait until it's. And this is only the second time I've ever got my soil tested. But like I said, I have good soil, so I don't really need to get it tested, but you know, it doesn't hurt, and it's very cheap. It's easy, especially now with the you know, COVID and you know, people not working and this and that, and everybody's I see it seems to be everybody likes they're into gardening. You know, they being stuck at home, and you know, I mean, the kids and. You know, I mean, that's another great thing. I mean, you could something to do with your kids. You could just, you know, get some plastic cups or some styrofoam cups and some seeds, some soil, and water, and I mean, the rest is natural. You don't have to go out and buy grow lights, and you know, it's well, like I said, it's the time and age where, you know what I mean. Unfortunately, we're in the time and age we are, and we have to be stuck at home and. Why not go out and plant some seeds, get an herb garden. You know, an herb garden is probably one of the easiest indoor projects that you could, you know, that you can do with your kids or with your loved ones, you know. You know, like I said, it's just you can plant seeds in anything. It doesn't matter. You know, looks don't matter. They don't care if they're in an old tin cup. They don't care. You know, as long as they get the water, soil, and the light, you know, you're good to go. So let's get back to this is what your soil test will come in. It comes in a little plastic or plastic envelope. And getting back to, you just call your county commissioner or your county office and ask for a soil test. And fortunately, I'm trying to remember the lady's name. I want to say Jerry. She's the one that hands out the tests, and usually you have to go down to my local office would be Ridgeway. Oh, I'm getting something here. Cool. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. Hit the deck. But anyhow, see, I got a hold of her, and being with COVID and stuff like that, they aren't working in office much. So she delivered it right to my house. I mean, how $9. $9 a test. They tell you everything. And if Jerry's watching, shout out to you, Jerry. Thank you. But yeah, they test everything. She came right to the house. I wanted 2 tests, so I gave her $18, and there's my test. So, but to do the test, it's anybody can do it. Anybody. It's simple. There's nothing really to it. You get a soil sample bag. You get your envelope, and then you get your bag that you gotta. It's just a little Ziploc baggie that you have to put your soil in. So we're just trying to look here, and you go down, and it tests. Covers the cost of standard analysis report. The standard fertility report includes results for pH, acidity. I don't know what this word is. That's what it looks like. MEHLICH 3. Phosphorus. So that must be some sort of phosphorus. Potassium, calcium, magnesium, and lime. And then they also, when you put your test in, when you get it back, they tell you what fertilizers you need. So if you're lacking on, say, calcium or phosphorus, or if your soil's acidity is way high, and I don't really know the technical. I kind of understand this acidity and the acidic. There's acidic soil. There's neutral soil. There's alkaline soil. Then and that them three go on a pH scale of 0 to 14, and with 0 with 7 being the neutral, obviously, middle of. But then if you have an acidic soil, that goes in a range from 0 to 7, and most is right around 3, which would be a neutral kind of. Not many vegetable plants like acidic soil, like like tomatoes, and a lot of like the vegetables, the normal vegetables that you would grow in your garden, they don't like it. Like, for example, the things that do like it are like blueberries, your rhododendron bushes, your azaleas, your like a rhododendron really likes its soil acidic, and it would be in the range of like 4.5 to 6. So that's on the we're going to 0 to 7, so that's on the high scale. So like I say, blueberries, like peat. They say peat's neutral. It is neutral after it's processed. But like if you would go to a peat bog in, say, England or something like that, and you would take a slice of peat out, it's gonna be acidic. It's gonna be real acidic, because that's how that strives. But after it's processed and it's all that, all that's washed out. So yeah. What do we got here? And then you got alkaline. It would be the opposite on the scale of acidic soil. So that would be no acidic. So that would be a 0 on the acidic scale. And like, I guess getting into a couple what things are, like bone meal, which would be ground up. That would be a fertilizer. It would be ground up bones. But that it's rich in phosphorus. Bones are rich in phosphorus, I guess. And you have blood meal. I believe that's rich in nitrogen. But yeah, there's you could go on and on and on and on and on about that stuff. And I really don't understand the whole. I kind of understand the scales and the where you should be, but there's a lot of plants that I don't grow that that fall under that category. So let's get back to the test here. Did I put the bag? Oh, I put the bag in here. So yeah, you get your paper, and then you fill it out. You would go. So we're looking for. Tells you page 2, 3, 4. What page you're looking for. So we're looking for home garden, which is less than an acre, and then it has landscape plants and forestry, and which that category, that was your crop category. That would consist of vegetable gardens, flower gardens, fruit gardens, ornamental trees, shrubs, ground cover, woodlot, like Christmas trees. If you've got a Christmas tree farm, or that's the kind of stuff that it covers. So then we flip her open, and we do need I think the pink one. What are we looking here? We're looking at page 4, yeah. Page 4, nope, the green one. So in my instance, I would flip back to the green page. And I would fill out, name, my address, all the basics. It's nothing, you're not divulging any information that they're gonna. Then you would go in, and then you would find the field sample ID, and then you would flip to the back. And in my case, like I said, I'm just doing the garden. And if you're just doing a garden, this is exactly how mine. If you're in Elk County, this is exactly what it looks like. And then you go back to the back, and you go under home garden, non-commercial fruit and flowers, and then you look your crop code, which it has mixed vegetables, strawberries, blueberries, grapes. It has all 10 different options. But we're going for mixed vegetables, so we want code 510, which is, let's see if you can see it here. It's in this range here. It's in this category. So you go in, you're at 510. You fill that out. Then you do a crop code. Yeah, it's pretty basic. I mean, then you can pay for optional tests like how much organic matter, salt, nitrogen, nitrate, nitrogen, total carbon. There's all sorts of mercury, arsenic, lead, PCBs. Yeah, I don't know what they are, but yeah, it's pretty extensive, the test, but I mean it's basic to what you do. And then you would go, let's see, I got this up here. And I'll just bring out our map of our garden. So yeah, I'll just mark out here like where I'll be testing. I mean, there. You don't want to stay away from you don't want right on the edges, because that's your drainage. You know, so it's going to be, your soil is going to be mixed there because it's got going drainage through. So you want to stay about, I don't know, let's say 2 feet, maybe a little farther. You know, depending if you have a walkway, or you want to hit your beds. You know. Mainly your, oops. So yeah, we got one there, and then 2 there, 1 there, and then 1 there. So this is this is how I would, let's see if we can, let's do it in here. Oh, so I got 11 there. But if you see on my garden there, this would be the greenhouse here. This is the garden. This is also the garden that I have drawn in raised boxes. But there's, I mean, it's just a little grid pattern. I got 2 on this, 2 here, and I'll go 1 in the middle, and 2 on each side there. Then I'll go 1 in the middle and 2 on each side, and just kind of like just kind of that kind of pattern. And then you go out and you take little samples, and then you put them in a measuring cup or whatever. But they need a total of a cup, 1 cup of mixture. So you go out and you'll just fluff off the top. You only want to go down about maybe 2 inches, 3 inches, and then you take a little sample, which it's just a little scoop, but you do that throughout your entirety of your garden, so you eventually have 1 cup of soil. So then you would take your soil, and I'll go out here. I don't know if maybe not. I don't know about this episode, but we'll go out and I'll take you through the whole deal of me doing the soil testing, and then you go through and you got your cup of soil. I should have grabbed one, huh? Yeah. So you get a cup of soil, and then you want to bring it inside, and then you want to take a tray or whatever, clean, make sure it's nice and clean, doesn't have no debris. You don't want no false readings, because you have old dirt in and it'll pick up the old dirt. So you want to have a nice clean bucket or something you can lay it out so because it needs to be dried. So you let it dry for a day, or whatever. Then you take, as long as your dirt's as long as it's dry, that's important. You have to take it in, let it dry out, put it on by a windowsill or by heat. It doesn't matter. You don't have to throw it on a heater. You don't want to heat it. Because once once the unnatural heat gets to it, it changes its priorities, or changes the things that are in it. But yeah, then you get your dried soil, put it in your bag, you know, and then you would get your, a little dirty, then you would get your mail bag, put your soil sample right in there, send it out, and then in I think they were saying about a week to 10 days that you would get it back. With talking to the Jerry, she said that they were really good about it here. So some were coming back within 3 days. So, but yeah, that's that. I mean, that'll be our soil test. I mean, we went through it. We got our plants they're growing. You know, like I said, I gotta clean this spot off here. I got some down by the windowsill. Oh, another thing, I always put a fan in the room. I don't blow it directly on the plants until they start breaking on the soil, because that's another thing they need. You don't want to suffocate them, because they need a nice airflow, and with that little airflow, you don't want to go crazy with them. I just put mine on low, so but you don't want it directly blowing on, but you do want that. You want them to move a little, you know what I mean? You want them that airflow to go through there and get underneath, and you know what I mean, just flow, and that will help them grow naturally, and it will also harden them up a little bit. I mean, you know, so they're getting ready to be taken outside. I mean, once these plants start, that's some kind of spider web. Once these plants start, once they start coming up, you know, and they get an inch or so, we'll take them outside. 15 minutes, you know, not really super direct sunlight. But like I said, I have a greenhouse, so you know what I mean. I can take them outside, and I can control the temperature. I can control, you know, the only thing I can't control is the weather, you know. So if it gets cold, I just bring them in. But they're tender, you know. They're babies. They're your babies, and I guess you would treat them as such. So, yeah, I think that covers what I want to talk about today. Like I said, I just wanted to check in. I'll try to check in every other day, or I don't know, you know, things going. Once things start going, we'll start getting real regular. So let me check my list. Yeah, I think we covered what we need to cover today. And I guess I want to reiterate, if there's any questions, or feel free to comment. I'm here to garden for my community. You know what I mean? We're all friends, you know, and how we got to get through this world somehow. And there's too much hate in the world, and I think gardening brings out some, you know, some camaraderie. I mean, like I was saying back before, a lot of people are into gardening, and you know, that's gives them something to do, but you just don't know, you know, and it's just information passed, you know. And like I said, I like information. I'm not a master gardener by any means. Like I said, I'm just do it, you know. And if you fail, and I guess my motto in life, I've failed a lot. But you always can pick yourself back up. You can always pick yourself back up and start over and try again, you know. If you can't succeed, try again. So, but yeah, like I said, it's just we're just going through the process. But yeah, we'll get into the soil. We'll do them tests outside. Maybe a little later I'll go out and do that. So with that, I guess it's about time to move on and get on to some other projects. My wife Carrie, she's got some projects downstairs. I got to build some shelves. What else I got to do? I'm gonna go out. Like I said, I'm gonna go out and do these soil tests. And I did get 2 tests. I am going to test my my ground here where we're going to put up the raised gardens, or the raised beds, raised gardens. So yeah, I mean, we'll do that test there too, and that's another. I guess to reiterate on that, with that test being it's all lawn, I will take where I'm taking my test holes, or not holes, but I'll dig underneath the grass. I'll take the first 3 inches. Take that sod off. You want to get the lower soil when you're on that test. But in a garden, you don't want to go. You just want to go about 2-3 inches. That's you don't need to go any deeper than that. Really, that's what you're working with. So, but yeah, with that, here from Swamp Donkey Garden, we'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, I'm back again. I just wanted to go review kind of over what we did and throw some thanks and some I've been watching the channel, and I got to shout out a big, huge thank you to the whole audience. That's great. I mean, on YouTube and on Facebook, and I guess a little bit of my history on. I've been on YouTube for probably about 2 years. I got into the gaming. I know it's kind of goofy, but it's something I enjoyed. I got into gaming videos and made gaming videos, and I mean, my channel was there. I mean, it wasn't nothing to write home about at all. But I got this channel going, and as soon as I put it up, I mean, we're up to 75 members. That's great. That is awesome. And like I said, I've probably said it 100 times now. I'm definitely not a pro gardener. You know what I mean? I'm just a home gardener. Just like, I mean, with the day and age, just like a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are gardening. You know, if they didn't through the pandemic, I mean, they seen their neighbor and they're like, huh, I can do that. And absolutely, yes, you can. You can grow. I had, I guess, another idea. Yeah, herb gardens. Herb gardens are probably one of the simplest little gardens, and you can put them in anything. I had an idea. I guess we'll do it in another video here. Of like just an herb garden. You can just take. I have some old plastic pots, which I'll get into it, and you can take it and nail them to a board and plant them in succession, so they're up, and you can hang them anywhere in the kitchen, or by a window, or so. But we'll get into the herb garden here. We'll make one of those. Another thing we're going to get into is gutter peas. And that sounds goofy, but I'm just kind of showing how you can repurpose, and you can repurpose anything to grow into. And but we'll plant our peas in a gutter. We got a 10-foot gutter. We'll cut her in half, so we got 5 foot, and we'll put some soil and put our peas in there, and we'll do just like we're doing here with our lights, and we'll let them grow. And then once it's time to go out in the garden, you just take the gutter, and both ends are already cut off. I just seal them, and or you can just put the gutter right in the ground and cover it up, and there you go, peas. But the reason I came back here is absolutely to throw a thanks out to the Facebook community, the YouTube community, and I know my videos, you have to go to YouTube. You don't have to go to YouTube. I'm trying to get them to where I link everything together. But I mean, if you go to YouTube, it's just sign up. It's just another platform. I'm not promoting YouTube by any means. It's just another social media platform. And boy, there's a lot of information, videos, and that's what it mostly is. It's mostly videos. But you can go on there and search anything. There's anything you can search. But yeah, I'm here for, so like I said before, if you want to comment, feel free, just keep it you know, keep it to gardening. That's what we're here for. I'm here to answer any questions, you know, and if you, like I said, if you see something that I'm doing that you think is, you know, you do a little better, feel free. I'm open to suggestions. But yeah, I like I said, we'll get into the gutter peas and the herb gardens. But I think an herb garden is a good, like, for, you know, a small family, or, you know, say a single mom and you have kids, or single dad, well, you know, whichever. You know, it's just easy planting. You know, it's easy and it's fun, and you can benefit from it because you get fresh. You know where your stuff's coming from. You know, it's coming from you. You made it. It's easy. Sometimes. But yeah, I'm going a little long here. But like I said, Letty, my mom-in-law, she's helping me out. You know, with everything, with the website, with the Facebook, and getting everything together, and director. She's great. I love her. But like I said, I got to throw a big thank you out to the audience. I mean, I'm just trying to grow. I'm not trying to be huge. I'm not trying to, you know, not trying to make a buck off anybody. I'm just putting that information out there. You know, like I said, I do a lot of repurposing of a lot of things, because I just, you know, it's a lot cheaper, and if you have it on hand, why not use an old board instead of going out and buying a brand new one? And with the price of lumber now, you know, I would hate to have to be building a house, because I imagine if you buy it in bulk, I imagine there's a little difference. But if you go out and buy, you know, a piece of particle board, or even a 2x4, you're looking at $8. $8 for one 2x4. Shoot. So like I said, I do a lot of repurposing of my. I did go out and buy some lumber, but I supported my local sawmill. I just got all rough cut lumber. I have all the equipment to cut, plane, you know, and that's another thing we'll get into. We'll get into putting our raised beds together, you know, and it's all rough cut lumber. It's nothing hard, you know. And if you have a problem with it, come back, watch the video. I'll help you. Hey, look at this, fins, baby. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it real, keep what I'm doing day in the life of the swamp donkey gardener. We'll get at ya. We'll see you next video. Peace.